My name is Siddhant Patni. I work as a 3D vehicle specialist at Giant Software since 2018. I've been working as a 3D artist for more than 14 years now on a wide variety of games. Before we start our journey, let me introduce you to your co-passengers, the vehicle art team of Farming Simulator. Established in the year 2018, Giant Software in Brno, Czech Republic, is the home to the vehicle art team. It has grown from 4 to now 25 artists in a span of 4 years. We also work with our network of external contributors to help us deliver the goodies to you. The team has majorly contributed upon the last 2 releases of the franchise, the Farming Simulator 19 and Farming Simulator 22. Along with that, your favorite additional content such as Kubota DLC, Alpine DLC, Platinum expansion, and much more to come. So with that said, let's start with our ride. It's going to be a bit adventurous. Let me start with asking you a question. You want to start your car, but what if it doesn't work? It has missing parts. Can you still run it? Well, let's find out. When we start with creation of a game asset, the most important part for us is to have accurate references of real-life machines. We, as artists, love manufacturers who could provide us with accurate CAD data, like John Deere. CAD references are a representation of real-life machine into 3D space. It is often the most complete form of references that we can get to start with our creation journey. Sounds easy, right? Well, definitely it's easier for using CAD references as base for creation of the machine, but there are some challenges that comes along with them. To operate CAD data is very heavy, and it's a #1 challenge for us to recreate the machine. Also, at times, there are many parts that are missing, so it's still a challenge to create a machine using the CAD references. The second set of references we get as a starting point are 3D scans of the real-life machine. At first, it looks awesome. Sometimes I even dream about putting it directly to the game. But the closer you look, the trickier it gets. We mainly use the 3D scans of the real-life machine to define the proportions of the 3D vehicle. But the creation is majorly dependent upon the image references that we also use to create those 3D scans itself. It takes more time and effort for the team to recreate a vehicle using 3D scan, but also it's more fun. Some of the challenges we face when using 3D scans are creation of 3D scan itself is a very complicated process. Also, the data we retrieve from the 3D scanning is not very accurate. The next set of references we get as a starting point are photo references. This is the most challenging starting point for any artist to start recreating a vehicle using photo references. And this route is only chosen by the most experienced artists since it takes more time to recreate the machine, but also it's more creative. When using photo references, we will first define the proportions, and then we'll start adding details and refining the shapes. There are also some times when we ourselves have to go on the field to collect the photo references so that we can create accurate machines for the game. Some of the challenges we face when using photo references are inadequate photo references, or having different colors in the image references due to different lighting conditions. So, to summarize it, no matter where we start, we have to make sure that our paths meet down the line. Like from the previous examples, we started from the CAD references, another one from 3D scans, and the last one from image references. But it is our responsibility to make sure that all of these meshes created are consistent in quality and does well in the game. So now we have something that looks like a vehicle, but we are not there yet. There are several phases involved in creation of a 3D game asset. From the mesh stage, we move to the UV stage. UV unwrapping is a process of cutting down the 3D surface into 2D space to project an image texture on it. I know, it sounds complicated, right? Let me simplify it a bit. Imagine the tractor on the screen is made up of different paper planes or different paper shapes. You take all those shapes, put them flat on the ground to add color to them. As in the big image, you can see those green paper planes are laid flat on the ground so that we could color the tractor. From the UV phase, we move to the normal map phase. To simplify, normal map is an image texture that we use as a layer on our meshes to add more details to it. Let's look at an example. As you can see, we have a mesh ready with UV phase. It looks like a wheel, but it could look better, right? We add normal map as an image texture on that wheel, so it starts to look more detailed and more realistic, as you can see in the image. Finally, to the final. After the normal map phase, we move to the final phase of asset creation. This is the phase where the machine will start to look more colorful. We will start to add brand logos, warning decals, interior decals to make it look more like the real machine. At this point, we also create additional textures like ambient occlusion and additional mask textures that we'll require later. Wait, did I just say additional textures? Didn't we reach the final already? Well, yes and no. I can explain. We have a game vehicle that is created in a 3D software, but it still requires additional work to take it from the 3D software to the game. This is what we call as pre-integration. It is a bit of technical process, but to simplify it, we take the 3D model, add a bit of magic to it so it starts to look more real. It is where the metals will start to shine, the glass will start to look more like glass, the seat starts to look more comfortable, and the light starts to glow. It is now when we can actually start calling it a tractor for farming simulator. Imagine your car driving on a muddy road, and it does not get dirty. Sounds weird, right? Similarly, we have to make sure that when you are driving with your vehicles on the farms of Farming Simulator, they get dirty. We will add a bit of mud. We will add some scratches, but not on plastic, so it starts to look more real. There is an example of our graph that shows the process of creating these realistic elements for our machine. At this point, we take some rest on the back seat and hand over the steering wheel to the integration team. Our integration team are the specialists who will make the vehicle work. They will add mechanics, physics, animations, wheels, and additional functionalities, as you can see here. They are the magicians who will implement various configurations in our game. Simultaneously, our sound team will make sure that the tractors roar when they are started. Integrating different kinds of machine in the game is a very complicated and technical process. But simply said, our integrators put the soul in the machine and bring them to life. Once the integration of the vehicle is complete, we jump back on the driving seat and take hold of the steering wheel. Most machines have hoses that connect to the hydraulics, to the lights, and even connecting to the tractors. These hoses require a special set of process that's called skinning to make them move with the particular elements. We add joints and skin to make them move. Yes, joints and skin, like us humans. It might look easy, but it's a very complicated process and a nightmare for every artist. It starts to get complicated along with the complexity of the machine. As you can see in the example above, the number of joints have started to increase, and also the highlighted elements that require skinning have increased. Things get complicated really fast when it comes to skinning. We need to make sure that we still keep it optimized even after adding all those joints for that particular machine. And an easier skinning can be done in few hours, but an artist could spend many days or even weeks to skin a beast like that. During the time when we are busy skinning and making the hoses work, our QA team is working very hard to compile a bunch of broken things that require fixing. The list of broken things are called as bugs, which will be reported and assigned to the particular team to fix them. There are a variety of bugs, like visual bugs, functional bugs, gameplay bugs that require fixing. The list can easily grow to hundreds, and it requires constant work to bring it back to zero. There is a lot of communication required between various teams fixing the bugs at the same time, sometimes even creating new ones when fixing the previous ones. Every machine in the game goes through various iterations of fixing, but in the end, we will fix them all and be back on the track. Which reminds me, are we there yet? Yes. So finally, we have created a vehicle for farming simulator to be played on the farms. Just to quickly summarize our journey with all the pit stops that we have made. We started the creation of mesh from the different references we have received. We stopped to make the UVs for the mesh and move on to the normal map phase where we add more details to that mesh. We continue to the finals when adding more color and adding brand decals to the final mesh. From there, we add a bit of magic of our pre-integration to put it to the game. Our integration team puts the soul to make the vehicle work in the game. Meanwhile, our bug hunters are making sure that we fine-tune the machine so it looks correct and works correct in the game. And in this way, we are able to present you, finally, the vehicle to have fun in the game. Phew, it was a tiring journey.
Hello everyone again. I am Roman. I'm a character lead artist at Giant Software, working there since 2018. I was from Brno team, the same like Sid. Oh, thank you. Same like Sid. And work on both title, FS19 and FS22. For FS22, we just have a certain year experience in game industry, but yeah. For the Fest 22, we create a new character team. It was in the beginning pretty small team, but with a big scope to improve every aspect in our characters. So, we have a create team with a nice, cool and real cool digital artists, sculptors, technical animator and animator to just create new character system and improve it in every aspect. So to show what we have improved and from what we start working, if you remember Fest 19, we have the customization for our character, but it was pretty basic. We have only options for a couple of heads, couple of glasses, and couple of body types. For the new game, we want to improve it in every aspect, from heads, from accessories, our library of cloth. So we started making it. And one of the improvements we want to make it, it's changed from regular sculpting character by artist. It was before made it all by hand to more realistic representation because human character have a lot of details what artists need to understand about anatomy, pores, and other stuff, what it's pretty hard to learn. An easy way how to make it nice looking and better, use 3D scans. So we start using 3D scanned heads and use photogrammetry method to take them. It's collecting a lot of photo from one record, shoot it one together, and from the results of them, we managed to have our 3D scanned heads. What was not really quality at the beginning, because how was on previous presentations, its own 3D scanned version have some problems. For example, it was not symmetrical, it has cover on the hair, so these steps also need to be cleaned up. And our digital artists start working on them on our sculpting software to add more detailization, fix the bugs, clipping stuff, and make it nice looking head. And from this nice looking head, we go to our low poly stage and integration in game, when we create our low poly model and bake all information from resulted to our head. Next step, if we improve, if we start making realistic heads, we need to make realistic cloth also. And sculpting cloth, it's also pretty difficult because we have different physical property for cloth, and it need to be also be included in idea. So easy way how to make correct physical cloth is just make physical simulation of this cloth. And we start using physical simulation software to create pattern of our cloth and simulate it on top of our body. That's the reason you can see on the top of the You can see on the top of the picture it's simulated model from what we started. It has lower down hands, and this lowering down because it's all physics simulation. And if it will be raised how we use it in game, all simulation will just drop the folds down. So we need in the beginning simulate it how it correctly standing. Then we again sending this mesh to sculpting. Like with heads, we need to clean up this because after simulation it still need to additional details, more like we have, and just clean up in stage with adding pockets and other stuff what was not in simulation. And when we have nice detailed model, high poly model with the same, create low poly model for game. And when we finally create some low resolution, we bake all the information and go to step pre-integration, where we also have to do some steps so it works nicely together with other pieces like gloves, shoes, different pens, different variation of cloth. And it's the next step was for us, create more variety of accessory. So we start building like, from the beginning it was just like bottoms, jackets and other different, but then we start adding more shoes, more gloves, more different hats, more different glasses. And that's all just to increase our variability of choosing what you can choose for your player. And in the end, we start having result when you have more options for you to choose what you can build, more options for us, what we can also reuse for our NPC, and more options for everyone to make a game more variable and more interesting. And we continue improving our outfit pipeline. If you check for our last updates, we continue adding brand clothes and continue increase our library with new updates. And besides the animal, one of the important stuff for us in new development was, besides the player character, one of the important stuff for us, it was animal. And to improve quality, because it's farming, and we need to have a nice, beautiful animal for our farm. One of the steps to improve it from visual side, it was adding fur layer for animal. Before it was low poly geometry, and it has just so sharper edge around it, and it was not giving our realistic feeling. So we add a couple of additional layers of fur. It was mostly made by polygons and alpha transparent texture on top, and result was nice. And also, in addition to this nice result, we add a translucent shader, what can give light go through this fur, and you can see this glowing effect on the side. And result how it was before and now you can see on this screen, when we have without fur, old model style, and with fur, what break in silhouette and add more variety and more liveliness to this. And with other animal, we want to have the same pipeline, but some animal has less fur. For example, cow. With cow, we try to improve maximum it's our texture, but we also want to use some additional fur and hair on our cows. So we add additional places like mustaches on the face, on here area, hair, top of the head, just also to a little bit break the silhouette and make it not so soft and rounded. The same was for other animal also, like if it was chicken, or we want to improve feather also to make it work nicely in silhouette. And with this with all this addition, we improve our visual for our animals. But besides the visual representation animal, other part what's also important, it's make nice animation to make this nice animal look more alive. And we spend a lot of time to create improving natural movement around the area, different type of speed, different type of turning, to make it more fluent and blending blending nice without visible distractions. So it was one of the improvement of animation. Other improvement for animation, it was adding more variety to animation. We have like different mood for cows. They can sleep different types. They can eat food different way. They can even walk a different way, just to make more interesting variation, different mood. Also, one of the improvement, it was physical animation to some part of the animal. When we have already existing animation of cow running around, we also add a couple of joints to make physics simulation of her belly. And with combining all these steps together, we improve, I think, our visual representation, animation of our cows and animals, and basically how it was